Hey guys, so I think I'm going to start a knife making video. Show you how I do it, what kind of metal I'm using, how I do certain things. I know there's a lot of videos out there that do this, but you know, I've got a few subscribers and I figure some of you might actually want to see this. You know, enough talking, why don't we get started? So this is what I'm going to be using. I haven't spark tested it yet, but I will here in a minute. It's an old leaf spring off my dad's old sleigh that he made when I was a kid. And I might keep this knife, I might sell it, I don't know, I haven't decided. I haven't even decided what type of blade I'm going to make. That usually comes after I straighten and clean it. So first thing I'm going to do is spark test it. And usually the more complex the spark, the more carbon in the steel, which then leads to a knife that will hold an edge. So let's see what we got here. To me that looks pretty good. So right now I'm just going to cut it in half here. And well, first cut the end off and then see. I don't want to make it too big here. Probably make the blade 6 inches. Another 5 inches for the handle, so 11 inches. That's right there. Alright, as you can tell, it's not straight, so now we have to straighten the blade, or straighten the steel. Now what I'm going to do is get the metal, the entire length of it, completely up to critical temperature, which is non-magnetic, and then I'm going to let it normalize so it's easy to grind and shape, drill, stuff like that. So otherwise it's just too hard. It would eat up my sanding belts. It would eat up my drills, my drill bits. It would eat up my cutting wheels. So you gotta normalize, otherwise you're just basically throwing money down the drain. Alright, so now it's cooling off. Shut this off. I usually let it sit for about 15-20 minutes. Just let it cool off on its own entirely. I don't even mess with it. I don't put it in water. I don't wave it in the air. I just let it sit there and cool off. Alright, so it's 11 inches long by 1.5 inches wide. Alright, it's going to be a relatively small blade. And upon looking at my latest, what do you call that? My latest Bowie knife that I made. which, if you guys haven't seen, was very popular. I sold it for $300. Let's see. I think what I'm gonna do is make a miniature one. If I can select the image without taking my gloves off. So that's it right there. If you guys haven't seen that, I'll link the video below. But yeah, why not make a nice little Bowie knife out of that? Be pretty easy. I should be able to finish it, oh, maybe today. If not today, I'll probably have it done early tomorrow. A lot less sanding than using, well, here. This is what I made that last Bowie out of a truck leaf spring. I sanded this, I kid you not, for one day. I was out here for 3 hours standing at the sander. Went through 2 30 grit belts in one day, which never happens. And then the next day I sanded for another 4.5 hours to get where the blade I wanted, to get the right bevel. And mainly I do flat grinds. I don't do, like, I don't know, hollow grinds or convex or anything like that. I just do flat. It's just the easiest. So plus I don't have the right sander for doing anything other than flat, which is what it is. It makes a good blade out of it, so no big deal. But yeah, this is a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch thick by, I believe it's 2 inches wide, 2.5 inches wide. And I had to cut off, about 1/3 of this and heat it up. And it was, you know, well, it was 18 inches long altogether, with the tane and the blade included. So I had to, it was a process. I had to heat it up, and I had to slide the blade in and out of the forge to get the even heat on it. And it took me about 30 minutes to get it right. I finally got it to where I was able to normalize the blade, then sand it, and I got about to the thickness of a piece of paper for an edge, and that's when I put it back in the forge. And I actually put it in tane first so I don't burn my tip off, but I got it up to critical temp, and I was able to properly heat treat it, successfully heat treat it. And she came out really nice. So now I'm just going to clean it off with a handheld grinder here, so I can draw on it with a marker. Alright, so I'm in the best spot. Oh, look at that, it says Ford on it. Isn't that cool? Ford Model A, I think. This is the blade. All together. Ooh, it's so soft, 11 inches. So I'm gonna want to make it about 5 3/4. Right over the Ford. Darn it. It shows they're able to keep that, but oh well. And then now I draw out the blade. Now I'm going to want a clip point on it. I usually make that about half the blade length, So I'm gonna do 2 3/4. So most of my knives I do just material removal. I don't do a lot of hand forging, and that's only because my arm can't really take it. So I do what I can this way. And as you guys can see, it works pretty well. Hell on my thumb though. Top the breaker. Shit. That happens from time to time. I only got 30 amps in this garage, so I gotta be careful. I got a heater going right here because it's chilly out. Got a hot tub going, where the heater in the hot tub is going. Using this, which is 5 amps. This is like, the heater is like 10 amps or 20 amps. So yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. Alright, next, go to the grinder. So what I'm going to do is shape this so it's better looking, you know, fits the blade. I don't think I'm going to take this part out. We'll see. Looking better. Okay, so now I gotta think about the tane. Do I want a through tane, or do I want, I don't know what they call it, but where I carve the shape. I don't know. Because I'm using deer antler and I have elk antler as well. Elk antler has a lot more material. I could cut scales off of elk material. And that way I don't gotta go through, you know, drill a hole into it, which isn't a problem either, but the scales, they're a little, I think they're more secure because they have the pins going through. And if I ever want to sell this, you know what I mean? I think I'm gonna go with, scales are so much harder though. I'll have to think about it. Give me a minute. So the problem I face when it comes to deer antlers is this, the curve. The curve kills you when you want to drill out the inside. Say I make the tane, you know, a 1/4 inch, and that's the entire width of the tane itself. A 1/4 inch, and 3 inches long. Well, that means I gotta drill this out a 1/2 inch and 3 inches long. There's not a straight 3 inches on this entire antler. Now, on the elk antlers, I mean, oh yeah, look at this one's perfect. 3 inches long, easily. And I could, no problem, drill a 1/2 inch in that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the through tane. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to have a bit of a ricasso here. Actually, there is no ricasso because I cut it out, which is okay. But I am gonna have a bit of a stop. And let's see, this is a 1.5 inches, so it's just over 1.5 inches, yeah. So it's 1/2 of 1.5 inches. 1/2 of 1.5 inches would be Had to have the wife help me with some math. Yes, it is 3/4. So there's half. I'm probably not going to make the tan too long. I'm probably going to go I'll probably do 3 inches. Alright, and so that tan, that's a halfway line right there. Now comes the fun part. It's that easy. Okay, so now we can get started on the grind. My not so favorite part, but it's gotta be done. It's always different from one side to another. I think it's because the way I hold it, the way I move it, I don't know. it always ends up balancing out, but yeah, it's frustrating because you want it to get to look like this side, and you just, yeah, it's just annoying. God damn summer. I'm gonna keep grinding this side until I get it right. I just wondered, there's a small bend in it that I can't see. Yeah, there is. Sure. I'm gonna have to heat it up and yeah. I'm gonna reheat it. Take the hammer to it and try and straighten it. It's just the slightest bend. Alright. I think it's straight. I think. Gotta be close. Still doing it. Alright, I'm gonna call it quits for the night. Dinner's ready. I'm not sure what's going on. Normally I don't have this problem. But I don't know. I'm just gonna keep grinding. And if it doesn't come together like I want, then I will start over. But we'll get there. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, so I'm back. It's the next day, and try and get this bevel evened out and get this blade done today yet. I'm gonna try and push to have it done in 4 hours, and that's kind of ridiculous considering I'm recording it, but obviously there will be editing. So let's get started. Alright, so I got most of it cleaned up now. Got about a taper's width hair on, or an edge on there. And I'll make that sharp when I get down to using the higher grit. That way I get more of a definitive line for the bevel. So right now I'm going to put in the false edge on top here. I have to be very careful because this tip is getting very, very sharp. And I don't want that. Not now. Alright, so I got the false edge on it. Now I'm going to do the file work. And what I use is a coarse round file and then a triangle file as well. And usually what I do is just start it where the false edge is ending to give a good transition. And then I usually do one width. You know, as soon as I'm done with this, I go to the other side and same width over and over. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about here. This is really hard on my arm, so it might take a little while. And you do this before heat treating, obviously. And then just basically just roll it over and start on the next one right where the first one ends. Oh, that's hard. Looks good. And then start in the center of the file mark. Like here's the file mark. I just go to the center on this side. We got the wrong one here. What the hell? Alright, so I screwed up but made it work. It's only supposed to be one sharp edge behind the round file grind here, but being that I screwed up, I put 3. So I gotta do 3 on all of these sides as well, which sucks, but looks kind of cool, I think. We'll find out. Alright, so I got these all done. I might go back over on this side a couple of times, try and even them out. I can do it like this. And then it's time for heat treat. It's gonna bug me. I like symmetry, and these are not symmetrical by any means. Oh well. Alright, so now we give it a little time, let it cool off on its own, and wipe it down and check to see if it's hard. Alright, so there we go. Now let's see if it's hard. We'll try the soft first. You hear that sound? That's soft. Now we'll try where it should be hard. Nice and hard. Exactly what we want. Okay, so next we change the sandpaper to 60 grit and get it nice and polished up. Pretty much get the blade entirely done. Get an edge on it, not too much of an edge, but pretty close. And then we wrap it in tape and start the handle process. Alright, that's 60 grit. Okay, so now we're going to try 80 grit. This is where you start putting the edge on. It's a little, you gotta be careful. Coming together nicely. A lot more grind than I anticipated, but alright. Next is 120. If I have any 120. Oh, look at me. Good deal. Usually 120 is the last belt I use. And I go right to the buffing wheel. I know it's not nearly enough. I should be up to the thousands, but I'm just not that patient. Now is when things start heating up and getting really scary. Okay, it's not a razor blade yet, and that's fine. I've got to throw the 36 grit back on. And actually, no, I don't. Alright. Now we get started on the handguard. I might cut this piece off here. Now I go and normalize this as well. Heat it up, critical temp, and let it cool. Otherwise you can't drill the damn thing. Alright, so next I'm gonna cut the antler off. So the tane is 3 inches. My hand is an average hand, so I'll say 4.5. I'm going to do 5 inches. 2 3/4. It's just a perfect width. This is actually a hard part. These lined up perfectly. Make sure the drill doesn't slip off to one side, which happens a lot. Let's see here. It's just under a 1/2 inch. Could have punched a hole in it. That's going off the side. What a mess. Well, I can make it work with files and a Dremel. Yeah, I'm gonna sand this down a little bit, I think. Ah! Fucking Dremels. Oh, so close. Well, that presents a little bit of a problem. We're getting somewhere now. You want to keep it as tight as you possibly can. Alright, got it. Now comes the fun part. I cut myself. Of evening out this gap. You want to make it as flush as humanly possible. So that means I'll take the cutting wheel and get in there. This is a little sketchy. I don't like doing it, but like that. That's pretty close. Alright guys, so I got the hand guard shaped. Looks pretty cool. Just threw it on the grinder real quick and basically ground it to shape. Right now I'm wrapping the blade in a cold, wet towel so I can weld without losing the heat treat and making a huge mess. But this is what you gotta do. Sometimes this doesn't even work. Bowie's got a, what is this called? Anti-spatter. Gotta have that. So far so good, I hope. That should do it. Well, looks pretty good. Next is the antler. Okay, so now I've got to shape this, or at least straighten this edge here. So now I gotta figure out what size it's gonna be. I usually go a little bigger. Like, that's a good size right there. I think that'll work. Let's give it a try. The hell. Pulling it towards away from where I want it to be. Okay, so the tane is 3 inches long. I usually mark that, and I go about a 1/4 inch deeper. So basically all the way up to the chuck here. Great thing about these antlers is they're really straight, so I won't have any worries about them going through, you know, a side or a curve on the antler. I think I like elk antlers a lot more than deer antlers. On here. It didn't go all the way down, so I raised the drill, raised it more enough, and I'll just go all the way up. See if it's the right size. Nope. It's gotta be a little bigger. Oh, so close. Might have to grind down the tane just a little bit to get it to fit properly here. It's one thing you should always remember. Start with plenty of tane, plenty of meat on the tane. Usually I start with 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. Yeah, I'm gonna have to grind it down. about all I want to take off of it. Handle is off from the spine. Well, okay, we're almost done. So now we want to burn it. So one thing I learned the hard way is I put the handle on, or I burnt the handle to get its color, and then I shaped everything around, you know, the blade and how I wanted it to look. So then I ended up grinding off everything I burnt. So I'm going to do that now before I burn it. It is before the burn. Alright, let's burn it. God, that bothers me. Not having the spine line up with the handle, that really annoys me. I've never had that happen before. Damn it. Trust me, when I put clear epoxy on it, it's going to be beautiful. Oh, forgot to do the front. Alright, next comes epoxy. Okay, so how I do this is I put the handle in a vise, cramp it down, not too tight, you'll break it. Okay, and then I get out the epoxy. I use BSI Quick Cure 5-minute. It's no bullshit, it is 5 minutes. So you have to prepare for it. And how I do that is I get a piece of cardboard, I fold it right in half, and being that it's chilly out, I gotta plug in my heater, otherwise the epoxy won't set. Okay, and I use just a wood stick that I found, and about a quarter size, usually maybe a little more on each side of the cardboard. Bring that heat in close because you want it runny for what I'm gonna do. It's ironic, the actual hardener is runnier than the other stuff. Okay, you stir it up. Now the time starts. And that's when you go right to the deer handle or the antler handle. Come on. And that's what you do, you fill it up. Well, not fill it up, I usually go about halfway. Because displacement will fill it up when you put the tan in. Come on. Half full? No, I don't remember here. There we go. Sometimes that happens. And then I use this right here to put pressure on the blade and the handle. And I usually get some of pressure on it. And I leave it for like half an hour, and this is what happens next. Alright, so next, get this done real quick so I can go in and eat. Just a little bit more epoxy. And take one of these crappy brushes. Can you see? Not only does this make it look beautiful, it also protects it. A lot better than any clear coat would. This stuff is strong. You use it forged in fire, it's gotta be, right? Gives a really nice feel to it. Now, let it sit for half an hour and polish the blade, and I will be done. And there it is, guys. All done. Got a point on that thing. Damn. So I might sell it if anybody's interested. Leave a comment. It'll probably be about 150 bucks. Considering all the work it took me. But I hope you guys liked the video. I'll try to do one. Oops. I'll try to do one. You know, once a month maybe. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And yeah, thanks for watching.